All right, do you know why I pause every day when I start my live? It's because you get that first goofy little blip of yourself on the screen when you go to publish it. So I always just want to sit still for a minute. So it's actually a somewhat decent picture. Welcome to my live. I'm feeling a little crazy today. Hello, friend. Oh my gosh. I got a friend in the house. I want to talk to you today about some things you can do to set yourself up for success. So I've already talked to you guys a little bit about how I left the corporate world, and welcome everybody. I left the corporate world and decided to get my coaching certification through the John Maxwell Group. If you don't know who John Maxwell is, I would definitely spend some time on Google looking at John Maxwell. He's a tremendous leader and someone that I've really enjoyed learning from. I've enjoyed learning from all of he has so many books, but just seeing him in person, he's like that wise grandpa that you just want to like sit at the table with and just listen to all of his wisdom. He's such a good man. But one of the things that he says on repeat and he believes so strongly in, and so do I, is in order to grow, in order to become the person that you need to be that's capable of building a successful business. Because honestly, isn't that what it is? Like, if you have some like serious goals, I mean serious ones, it's really not about reaching those goals. It's about the person you have to become to reach those goals. So John Maxwell always says, in order to grow, you have to grow yourself. You have to get to know yourself, and I love that. And I have kept that in my brain since 2018 when I took his certification. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. So getting to know yourself. I was thinking about that. Like, how can someone get to know themselves? You know, like, it sounds kind of generic when I just let it roll off my tongue, but how do you get to know yourself? And I'm going to tell you one that I don't think a lot of people are going to like. It might be like 50-50. So if you like it, let me know in the comments. If you hate it, you can let me know in the comments. But one of the ways you can really get to know yourself is by journaling. How many people love the idea of journaling? How many people hate the idea of journaling? It seems like you either love it or you hate it. Like, you're going to do it or you're just like, no way, I'm not doing that. And the reason I even thought about it today was because I've been packing up my office. We're getting ready to move. And I've been packing up my office, and I came across some of my books that I haven't looked at in a long time. And I had a stack of them that were like journals and journals that like prompt you. So if you're not somebody that's just good at sitting down with like notebook and paper and just writing out your thoughts, there are so many really good ones that you can get that like prompt you every day to write about something. And I think over the course of time, you just really start to get to know yourself, but you have to be like brutally honest about some of those things. So like, for one, I will tell you that this was one of the books that was on my shelf. I don't even know when this book was published, but it's one I've had for a long time. I started to read it. I really liked it. But look what's right here, y'all. Like, right in about the middle is a bookmark, because that is all of the book that I read. So I have to be really honest with myself and admit to myself that I'm not great at finishing things. I love learning. I loved the first part of the book that I read, and then for whatever reason, bright shiny object syndrome, I probably picked up another book and never went back to it. So I picked it up today, and I was kind of like scrolling through some of the pages I had read, and I was like, oh, that's why I do that. I learned that from this book. So I do love the book and I recommend it, but I really do recommend like scripted journaling. And if you don't even want to go out and buy a journal that's specific to it, go to Pinterest, because there are probably like thousands of journal prompts on Pinterest. You don't even have to pay for it. Just grab a cheap old notebook and a pen and get to know yourself. Be brutally honest about your weaknesses, but also be very willing to own and confidently recognize your strengths and be humble about it. Because that's where we gain self-confidence, is when we start recognizing what we're good at, right? at some point, inevitably, in anybody who's trying to do a business or trying to do something new, you're going to run into imposter syndrome. And you're going to think, who the hell am I to think that I can do something like this? Who am I to think that I can go on Instagram every day live at 2 o'clock? Hello, everybody. Go live every day at 2 o'clock and talk to a bunch of people I've never met before and probably never will. Who am I? Well, I'm just somebody that really loves to help people. In fact, I learned this yesterday, and I thought this was super interesting because I have committed, and I continue to commit, that anybody that joins this program between whatever date I started that, like early June, I think it was, through July 1st, I'm going to put you in a special mentoring group if you'd like to be involved in it. And I'm going to help walk you through the first initial weeks of being in a program like this. If this is brand new to you and you need just a little extra support. Now, I'm not going to give you coaching and I'm not going to train you on the program because we already have all that wonderful information inside the program. I just want to be that extra layer of support to anybody who feels like, man, this sucks doing this alone. I don't really want to do this alone. So I've been talking about that for weeks now. Then yesterday I was listening to a podcast. If you guys have never listened to Diary of a CEO, he did a podcast episode with Simon Sinek, and I learned this for the first time. Simon Sinek said that when people go through Alcoholics Anonymous, the thing that will make them fail most often is that they miss one step in the process. Just one step will cause them to fail and not be successful at giving up drinking alcohol. And that one step is the very last step, which is becoming a sponsor to someone else. And the way Simon said it was like, it's becoming of service to someone else, being a friend, helping someone else. And that's where a lot of people miss the boat is, you say you're a very successful, I don't know, let's just use podcaster. Let's say you're a very successful podcaster, but you never ever turn around and help the person behind you. You never offer that hand up. You never offer to mentor. You never give advice. Someone calls you up on the phone and says, hey, you know what, I'm struggling. If you never do that part, you're never going to truly be successful. I loved hearing that. I thought, what an amazing concept is not only do we get to learn and be successful, but we get to help somebody else, pull someone else along. Actually, it's just give them a hand up to help them along. I don't believe in pulling anybody, but there is I believe it's in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where he talks about, learning things as though you're going to teach them to someone else. And I love that idea because whenever I'm learning something, I always stop. Like today I was learning some things about attracting people to your social media, your YouTube, your Pinterest, whatever it would be. And so I was listening to some modules, and I have a friend who's also doing network marketing, and we call each other digital marketing. We call each other every once in a while, and we kind of talk about where we're at in our journey. And if I can think of something that I learned that she might not have learned yet, I'll tell her or whatever. So I'm thinking about it today as I'm listening to those modules, and I'm thinking, I wonder if my friend knows this. I wonder. And then you start thinking about it in a whole new way. Like, okay, if I had to turn around, if I was sitting across the table from my friend, how would I explain this to her? How would I help her understand this particular part of digital marketing if she didn't already know this? So when it comes to the imposter syndrome, the other thought that I had that I wrote down is you increase your feelings of self-worth when you show up for yourself. And so I'm going to give you an example of this. So we are building a barn, and we hired these gentlemen from Phoenix because we've had them build 2 other structures for us and stucco them. And we really like their work. We think they're great guys. They're always happy. They're good to be around. So when we started looking for someone, and we live 3.5 hours away from Phoenix, but when we started looking for someone local to stucco our barn that we're building, we couldn't find, we kept coming up short. So we were like, well, why not just reach out to them? Maybe they'll come down here. So over the course of the past several months, he has committed to coming down, and then he doesn't show up. And then he'll call the next week, or maybe 2 weeks will go past, and he doesn't show up. And then finally he shows up. And he puts on the first layer, which is the styrofoam and the chicken wire, right? And then, oh yes, I'll be back in 2 weeks to do the first coat of stucco. Weeks go past. Like, you stop. Like, after a while, you get the text from him saying that he's gonna come, and you're like, okay, you might come, you might not. Now, he's told us 2 weekends in a row that he was gonna be here. This will be the third weekend in a row that he says he's gonna be here to finish our final coat of stucco. We'll see if he comes. I have no expectation of him coming. Now think of that. Think if that's you. Like, think if you tell yourself, I'm gonna show up on social media every day to talk about my business. I'm gonna read, 10 pages of a book to help me learn something and grow every day. I'm going to eat healthy snacks instead of garbage. I'm gonna drink 8 glasses of water a day. And you tell yourself day after day that you're gonna do that. I'm gonna go exercise, I'm gonna walk, I'm gonna stop smoking, whatever it is. And then you don't do it. And then the next day you don't do it. And the next day you don't do it. And pretty soon you're just gonna stop saying to yourself that you're even gonna do it, because you don't even trust in yourself anymore. So show up for yourself, because guess what? When you start showing up for yourself, and my friend that was on here earlier, she does fitness, and she shows up every day on Instagram, and she shows us that she's doing her workout every single day. When you start showing up for yourself, you feel good about yourself. And that's when you can really conquer imposter syndrome, is when you start showing up for yourself. You build your self-esteem, you build your self-confidence. You're on here, you're talking about your business. You're authentically you. I mean, it's amazing what it can do for your self-esteem. Keep your word to yourself, show up for yourself. The last thing I want to say, and this is going to be another one just like the journaling that a lot of people may not really like. Hello, thanks for joining me. Is meditation. Because guess what? We have about 80% of the same thoughts day after day after day after day. And so if those thoughts are not the thoughts that you need to push you forward, to move you forward, if you're waking up every day and you're thinking, oh, I gotta post on social media for my business today. Oh, I gotta get up and go exercise. I'm tired. I don't really want to put on my gym clothes and go to the gym. Whatever that thing is that you say to yourself, you're saying those same things to yourself, the majority of them, every single day. And after a while, they just become so much of who you are. You gotta disrupt that pattern. So I strongly believe in meditating. I meditate every day, sometimes twice a day. I like to do one at night right before I go to sleep, because I want to deposit something into my subconscious before I go to sleep at night. Helps you wake up the next day with more positive thoughts and more energy. I'm not much of a morning person, so I need all help I can get. But really, like, meditating and start to work on changing your thoughts. And along with the meditation, I hope you go to YouTube and you pick a guided one that includes affirmations. I am abundant. I am healthy, I am strong, I am worthy, I am resourceful. I have a whole list of them, and I say them to myself on repeat. If you aren't gonna believe in yourself, who's gonna believe in you? Like, you can't wait for someone else to believe in you. Like Deion Sanders says, learn to clap for yourself. So get to know yourself, identify your weaknesses and own them, but also celebrate your successes, your strengths. Fight against imposter syndrome by increasing your feelings of self-worth, by showing up for yourself, doing what you say you're going to do, and journal and meditate. And that's more than 3. I said I was going to give you 3, but I think they all kind of work together. All right, so thanks for being on here with me today. I don't have a lot more to say. Oh, it's about 15 minutes. I thought it would be a really short one today, but I guess I like to talk a little bit. All right, so if you're interested in learning more about my digital marketing program, you can go to my profile and find the link there, or you can comment, learn, and I will be happy to send the information over to you. I am on here every day to teach you different parts about digital marketing, but also to encourage you to grow as a human, as a person, so that you can be that strong leader that you need to be in your business. and I'm going to continue to show up. So let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if there's like a future topic that you'd like me to talk about. I am a certified coach through that John Maxwell group that I was talking about earlier. So I have a lot of topics I can talk about. I just need to learn what you're interested in hearing about. So let me know in the comments, send me some DMs. Keep showing up for me every day at 2. I love having you here. And if you want to support my new YouTube channel, just go over and search at Terry Kellums. Hi there. And I would appreciate it. I'm looking to get 50 subscribers so that I can go live on YouTube. I am on Pinterest and Facebook and what else? Twitter, but not very much. What's the other one? TikTok. So I'm all the places. I want to connect with you. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you again tomorrow.